All right, we continue with the SJHL draft here in 2025 with one of the elite players in the SJHL. Right now, it is Mason Karakochuk of the Nipawin Hawks. Mason, thank you so much for your time. We'll jump right into it. The second overall pick in the 2022 draft out of the Saskatoon Contacts. Mason, take me back to that day. How did you hear about being picked? What were you doing? And how did it feel? Obviously, Nipawin and Saskatoon not too far away.
Yeah, no. So the day of, I was actually in school at the time. It was like it was a break, and I had no idea I got drafted. And I was walking through the halls, and everybody's like, "Hey, you like see like you got picked or whatever." I was like, "Oh, no way!" And then I was like checking my phone, and I was looking, and then finally I got a call from Tad, and he was like, "Hey, like just before you find out from everybody else, we decided to choose you at second overall." And it was at school, and my buddies were pretty excited. I was excited. It felt pretty good. I was a little surprised that I went that high, but it was awesome. That was a great feeling.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, out of the Saskatoon Contacts, which is a place where SJHL teams take a lot of kids. So, tell me about how familiar you were with the SJHL. Growing up, obviously being a Saskatoon kids, the Blades just down the street, but obviously the SJHL has been such a big part of this province for such a long time.
Yeah, no, like everybody kind of heard about Humboldt and what happened there, but I knew about the SJHL well before that. My uncle is actually from Flin Flon, so he loves the SJ, and he told me how much of a big deal it is down there. And then I slowly realized that it's that big of a deal everywhere. And no, it was super exciting. Yeah, I Humboldt was probably the first team I found out about, and then I started paying a little bit more attention to the SJ once I started growing up and getting closer to the draft and talking to teams, and that's how it came to be.
Yeah, for sure. And the rest is history and future, as they may say. Obviously, you were picked as well by the Red Deer Rebels in the Western League. I guess just talk about maybe picking Nipawin over, trying to push for a spot there in Red Deer.
Yeah, so I went to Red Deer's camp and everything went all right. They didn't really have a spot for me at the time. So then I went to Nipawin's camp and I kind of just earned my spot there as a 17-year-old. And Tad gave me a chance, and it all went from there. I wasn't really expecting to play there that year, but just worked super hard at camp and had a great camp. And Tad asked me to join the team.
Yeah, for sure. Now, obviously, that year you guys had a lot of veteran, kind of high flying team, lots of offense. So I'm sure those guys gave you some advice that maybe you carry forward. What advice did maybe you give? I know you were still a young guy this past year too, but even the even younger guys on the Hawks on a young team, being kind of a guy with some experience, what advice did you give them?
Yeah, it's not easy. You're gonna think that it is easy, just coming from AAA and being a first line guy and a power play guy. You have to earn your ice, and it's a grind, and you have to work really hard. You turn into a smaller player in in the SJ, and it's physical and tough, and you play more games and longer bus trips. It's just you got to get used to it, and off the start, it won't be easy. There will be adversity, but as long as you keep grinding away, and it'll eventually come. Like I had some older guys always tell me that if you just stick to the process and do what you're good at, eventually it'll come.
Yeah, for sure. And, it certainly came, for you last year, broke, big jump from 1 goal to 21 goals. And as I said, one of the premium players in the league, kind of all of a sudden, I guess what went into kind of that growth, for you and obviously for a bunch of Nipawin Hawks that really exploded in the second half of the year.
Yeah, even at the start of the year, I started off a little bit slow. I made some kind of changes in my lifestyle around Nipawin that helped me become more comfortable. And it just all started with one. To be honest, I got my opportunity, and I kind of just never looked back. I joined a line with Hoynes, and we kind of switched with another winger, and then Watson found his way on there, and I think we just excelled amazing together. Um, it really did come together near the end of the year, as it came with a lot of guys. But yeah, no, some lifestyle changes really helped me excel. And and I got some confidence, and I just tried to never let it go.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously, plenty of Saskatchewan content, on this Nipawin team. Obviously yourself and, Captain Finley Radloff, and you mentioned Connor Watson, and kind of the list goes on and on and on. Such a potential to return almost everybody next year for Nipawin. Just talk about the excitement level, both, inside the room and the buzz, maybe even from down the road in Nipawin, for what next year could be like for you guys.
Yeah. So everybody kind of expected a bit of a learning curve this year, and we were young. Next year, that's no longer an excuse for us. We're coming and we're ready to win, and the community is ready for us to win. We're trying to turn things around here in Nipawin and become one of those teams that you want to come play here, and if you're going to come play here, we're going to win.
Hmm.
So we're trying to build a culture, and we definitely have the guys in the room to do it. At the end of the year, I think the league saw what we're capable of. We were beating some of the best teams in the league, and yeah, I think that was just a little snippet of what one more year will give us.
Yeah, for sure. Certainly was a lot of fun down the stretch there for you guys. Last question, then, Mason. Really appreciate your time. Such a well-spoken guy, so appreciate it. What advice do you have first to Nipawin Hawks picks that are picked today, but also to all the picks that are taken in the draft today?
Yeah. Just because you got picked doesn't mean it's over. It actually gets harder. You're going to have to work just that much harder to get to where you want to be. If it's in the SJ, if it's in a different league, it's a huge accomplishment that you have to be proud of. But it really doesn't stop here, and you look forward to making the team. Not even that, but developing wherever you're playing. It doesn't matter. Um, but don't take it for granted. Enjoy it, but don't take it for granted because it just gets harder actually. And but I do want to say that the SJ will be the best years of your life. So work for what you want to do.
Well said. Well said. Well, Mason, thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of the 2025 SJHL draft.
Thank you. I appreciate it.